Good? All right, everyone ready to go? Yes, sir. All right, I'm Jared Miller. I'm the city manager for the city of Amarillo. I have a couple of prepared comments regarding the recount for the mayor's race in the city of Amarillo, May of 2021 election. City of Amarillo, in coordination with the Texas Secretary of State and Potter and Randall County election officials, has completed the recount of ballots from the May 1st, 2021 mayoral election. The recount included a manual recount of all ballots in the mayoral race. We were intentional, we were methodical. We checked and we rechecked both the process and the results. The process from beginning to end was overseen by the candidates or their delegates, law enforcement, and not one but two Secretary of State election security trainers. We crossed every T, we dotted every I, and then we checked them again so that when we were finished, there would be no possibility of any reasonable doubt as to the results, which we will discuss now. To recap, the results of the May 1st election had Ginger Nelson with 10,960 votes, Carl Karras with 373 votes, Claudette Smith with 5,875 votes, and Michael Hunt with 3,066 votes. All of that has been previously reported. The results of the recount completed today showed Ginger Nelson with 10,962 votes, Carl Karras with 372 votes, Claudette Smith with 5,877 votes, and Michael Hunt with 3,073 votes. To put that into perspective, that is a change for Michael Hunt of an additional 7 votes, Claudette Smith an additional 2 votes, Carl Karras 1 less vote, and Ginger Nelson an additional 2 votes. That is a net of 10 more votes in the recount than what was originally reported. That represents just over 49 one-thousandths of 1%. The recount process is now concluded. I want to thank the candidates for their patience while we completed this very important process, the Secretary of State for sending officials to oversee and assist, our interim city secretary, Leanne Gallman, for a commitment to an ethical and accurate recount, and all of the many people involved in helping us complete the recount. Going forward, we will canvass the mayor's race on May 25th and swear in the mayor at that council meeting. Now, at this time, I'll answer any questions. Right here.
Any estimate on the cost of this recount?
Don't know that yet. We will tally up all of the costs, submit those to the Secretary of State. Whatever costs are applicable to the applicant will be forwarded on to them if there's a balance beyond what they've already paid.
Can you take us a little bit into how long did the process actually take? I know the city was estimated between 6 and 8 hours. How long was that about correct?
It was very accurate with regard to the amount of time that the counting teams worked in the Civic Center. Once we finished that, then the election committee tallied up all the votes. We spent a lot of time working to identify and try and track down and chase down those discrepancies. We wanted it to be exactly perfect. We spent a lot of time talking to the Secretary of State's lead attorney and also to the Secretary of State's representatives on site. They were very pleased with the diligence of the process. They were pleased with the work that the team put in on site and afterwards to try and chase down the discrepancies. After all was said and done, they were confident that the results had no indications of fraud or anything untoward.
So you said a net change of 10 votes. Were those votes coming from? Were they electronic votes, mail-in votes? Where did those votes come from?
We were able to track down 3 of the 10, and all indications were that those were associated with mail-in absentee ballots. But we do not know for all 10 of those what the nature of those discrepancies were, and the election administrator for those precincts will chase those down in the coming days.
I was going to ask, is there any estimate of how many, city employees, county employees were shuffled to fit this recount process?
There were a lot of citizens involved. There were a lot of personnel that supported behind the scenes. There were no city employees and no county employees that were involved in the recounting process. But we did support logistically on the front end, getting ready, making sure that we had all of the equipment, all of the supplies necessary, and then supporting the recount process. But none of us were involved in the actual recount. Yes, sir.
Now this was obviously a big laborious process for some that were out on the counting floor, but to have that many volunteers, talk a little bit about as to on behalf of the city, what's it like to have so many volunteers come together to make something like this happen, especially in Amarillo's first ever recount?
Well, first, I would just extend my deep gratitude to all of the citizens that put in so much of their time, both during the printing of ballots on Tuesday and the counting of ballots on Wednesday. It was a huge time commitment on almost 40 citizens' part. So thank you to all of them. It really demonstrated to me the commitment that our community has to the democratic process, to making sure that things are correct, and I'm very grateful for that. That's really the main takeaway, was just the selfless giving of time that people have.
So just for clarification, the canvassing process is the same as what occurred on Tuesday with the city council members?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We canvassed all of the votes, all of the positions that we had at that time. Since the vote numbers have changed for the mayor's race, we will recanvass that election on Tuesday the 25th, and then we will swear in afterward. Thank you all very much. I appreciate your patience. I know this has been a long day for y'all just as much as it has been for all of us, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.